making it work. Speaking of making it work, Squatic finally making some inroads here on behalf of...
Gets in the back, shadows.
Oh my god. Hello?
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 Uh-oh.
I don't think this time. They're not gonna get back in touch. Somebody's noticed. Oh.
Four ultimates of their own. This next fight, oh man.
Oh, I like that. They're freezing the Sigma so we can't eat the Mei ulti and popping it on everyone. Looks like we can kill him top. Oh my god! Yeah, Bongo. Take it down, big shadow, you.
Welcome everybody to the Raving Mad Gamers Summer League. We're up for another game tonight. It's going to be Evo Esports versus Rage Quit Odyssey. I'll be your play-by-play caster tonight, Cloudburst, and I'm joined with the very sultry sounding SunPheonyx. How are you doing today?
No more sultry than usual, I hope. I'm doing good. I'm excited for some close Overwatch. We haven't had much of that in recent days, so looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, if we look at anything like last night, it was a bit of a quick down and out 3-0 coming in.
Big ol' stomp.
Yeah, I mean, I did not expect such prowess coming in from ironic overdogs over Leiden Esports, but with Z-Lord at the helm, managed to really knock it out of the park there. However, those teams aren't playing tonight. The teams that are playing tonight is Evo Esports and Rage Quit Odyssey. Sun, what can you tell me about these teams and their lineup?
Well, carrying on the tradition from yesterday of Blur being involved in these games, he coaches both of these teams. I don't know where this dude finds the time to play the game, coach the game, and also do other things with his life, but he coaches both these teams, so I wonder if we'll see similar strategies coming out of them. Both of them have been pretty strong so far. I think this is a kind of, again, third place game. That's where Authorize and I have kind of stuck Odyssey, depending on a few things like how Evo performs, how OG performs as well. And now we'll get to see these two teams face up against each other and get a sense of which of them is stronger. And my personal feeling is that Odyssey has looked really good. In terms of where these teams stack up in the league so far, they're sitting 6th for Odyssey and 8th for Evo, which doesn't sound like much until you realize both of them have played both of the two top teams. So their only losses coming from those two top teams. So this will be a very interesting match to see how these two teams stack up against each other.
I'm going to have to go through there. I've been a bit out of the scene for this current Summer League hosted by Raving Mad Gamers, but looking at the players, I mean, I've been seeing these players around the scene for what seems like forever, with a few additions here and there, and probably one of the biggest additions I want to look at over on the side of Evo Esports is Jelly Doodle, who kind of came into the scene at the end of 2019, really showed up on, I think it was DDC Divinity then, when they actually went to the finals hosted in Joburg for VS Gaming. And he absolutely showed up on the hit scan. And we also know Cheetah Boy is quite proficient over there on the DPS as well. Yeah. So I think that we could see something great coming from this duo, especially with the current metagame of no dive due to the banned heroes that we have at the moment, which once again is your it's your Winston, your Sombra, your Soldier, and your Lucio. So I can definitely see McCree looking very good in the hands of Jelly Doodle, and Cheetah Boy is actually, to my understanding, been playing Mei for quite a while, and tank lineup for Evo as well, Maestro for that matter. He's also been playing tank for quite a while. So we have to see how Rage Quit Odyssey can kind of show up. Pretz is a proficient main tank as well, but I'm not too sure about the rest of the team away from Trigger Happy and Fluffy. So we'll have to see how JRV and Assassin JDB can show up as we enter into the first fight here. Sun, you take this one.
Throw me on the bus there. Two teams facing each other, doing things, swinging hammers. Rage Quit here in the red, Evo in the blue. Cheetah gets the first kill onto JRB. That's a pretty good pick for the Evo squad, and they're just going to move forward now. No Lucio, as we know, but that's not going to stop them from barreling through Odyssey here to take the first team fight.
Sorry about throwing you under the bus there, but it looks like
I thought you were playing play-by-play. What's going on?
That's not the only bust that really came through in this fight, as we do see Evo looking extremely strong in the first fight here, Son.
Very strong so far. So, looking into the next fight here, nobody's got a particular ult advantage. Both main tanks managing to build up quite a significant ult charge, so I have to see which one of them are able to get that one out first here.
Very defensive wall coming in from the side of Cheetah Boy, but no picks off of it just yet. Right now, Maywall is actually used over here from Assassin JDB. There's a shadow ready from Pretz, but they need to capitalize on this, as we did see pretty much the entire team falling down there as Pretz picks up 2. He's nanoed as well, and now they're just committing a whole lot of ults in, trying to salvage this fight, but Jelly Doodle's ult falls on dead eyes, and not able to do too much.
Yeah, a strange commitment there from Jelly Doodle. He'd already lost like 18 teammates and he still decided to commit the ultimate day. Not how I would have played that, but I don't really play the game, so what do I know? Really nice ulti there from Pretz. Played nice and aggressive, managed to work his way, you know, popped it when the wall wasn't up and getting so many kills. Fluffy managed to charge a nice quick nano boost up, gives it to Pretz, and it's just clean up from there on out.
Okay, so now you can see already Odyssey are jumping down. Pretz is so low, and he actually gets taken out extremely early. Maestro has Shadow. He uses it. Shadows is the one to fall down there. No more Brigitte for you, Odyssey. And right now, running a little bit scared, as it seems like Evo is probably going to be able to clean this one up. Or will they? As Maestro is struggling a little bit, but the D-Mech, I think that's all that we're going to see risen for this fight.
They have to clean up. I think you're right though, Claudia. They do end up flipping it back. Nice play from Evo there. JRV doing a really good job on the McCree there. He found himself with a nice flanking angle and put in a ton of damage in the backline. He's the only reason Odyssey stood any chance in their team fight. But there was all ult economy, just swinging back the other way.
Previous fight was
Odyssey. This fight, Evo had a shadow combo. They committed the...
Maestro is struggling a little bit.
That looks like all they committed actually, and charge up a couple of other ultis. So ult charge though firmly in favor of Odyssey here. Let's see if they can secure this team fight.
Okay. Blizzard is going to be coming out from Assassin JDB as Maestro is stuck in the front line, but he's not the first one to go down. Space Panda is, and he's the second one. And Omo is actually going to commit an ultimate into this, make that not 1 but 2, as a fantastic wall coming in from Assassin JDB, completely nullifying all of the ult investment over there from Evo Esports. And we're going to be seeing another flip over at about 80%, over 80% here. Maestro wants to stall it.
Yeah, that's not what I would have done. I would have rather... You see, it's okay if you're not the main tank, but you feed so much ult charge to the Rhino when you come back in like that for like 1 or 2%. So that was a pretty efficient fight from Odyssey, actually. They committed quite a bit, but they've got so much left in the bag still that they really secured that only with the Mei ulti, and they've got it almost back up. Really nice one from Assassin JDB there. Again, though, poor ult committal from Evo as they commit here to the next fight.
Oh, that's going to cost them.
Oh, big shadow!
As well with the shadow. They do find one off the self-destruction. They're just going to be cleaning up this fight right now as they move over to 70% on the point. Sun, do you think there's any chance to come back here if you look at the ultimates?
There is a chance, but it's looking pretty unlikely. But that said, what they do have is Maestro's ulti, so if they can avoid Assassin's Mei ulti here on the side of Evo, they might be able to get something done. And otherwise, it's pretty even. Fluffy, they commit the nano boost there, but they're high noons on both sides. This could be pretty explosive, Cloud.
Oh wow, that is a huge anti-nade coming in from Fluffy. We do hear it's Eaton. Assassin JDB is not going to be able to use the Blizzard whatsoever in this fight as Evo start pushing on over to the point. They've committed more ultimates, which is a little bit unfortunate. But even Assassin JDB, he's in there in all chat going, nice eat, man. Like,
nice
he knows he got outplayed.
That was a really nice play from Big Junior. To be frank, don't see enough. Oh, managed to touch a point here.
Yeah, that's a very good touch. Resetting the overtime. Jelly Doodle's actually getting very low, but he finds JRV, and they're not going to be able to take this back from Evo as they take the first round of Busan.
Yeah, that was a bit of a dying breath play there from the Tracer. So yeah, really nice play from Big Junior there, managing to eat that Mei ulti. That's something that Assassin's going to need to be really careful of. He did such a good job holding that up in the first place so quickly after using it in the previous team fight, but not able to get a useful one down. And you as a Mei player, you need to be much better. You should basically never have your Mei ulti eaten. You can freeze the DV, you can wall it off, you have so many options. It's just something you need to be aware of as a Mei.
Yeah, completely. I have to just talk a little bit more about Assassin JDB as we saw some greatness from him. The amount of walls that actually denied all of what Evo Esports was trying to do were numerous. However, one mistake that large kind of erases all the greatness that you put throughout the rest of the round there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it erases it so much, but it does not matter when you lose the game in the end.
Okay, so both teams taking different angles over on Busan downtown. Right now, main tank's just trying to hold the force. We do see a wall coming out from both sides. Shadows gets extremely lows, but it looks like Wallace and Maestro swinging their melee attacks and for the front line are going to be exactly what's needed to win this fight here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, these compositions, when neither team has a Lucio, it just slows everything down, but because nobody has an advantage, it's kind of similar anyways. And because neither team is running a ton of poke here into the shield, and not a ton of shield damage either, it's kind of has that same explosive quality that you'd see out of a Lucio Ryan comp generally, only this time with more melee damage on the front line, like you mentioned. Ults-wise, Maestro sitting pretty here with the Earth Shadow. Space Panda going to back him up, but there is a Nano close for Fluffy and a High Noon close for Jeremy as well.
I think positioning here for Jeremy is going to be super important. Jelly Doodle, what are you doing? Why did you roll into that? Oh no! That's awful. Maestro does find the front line though, but he does get frozen as well. Very nice positioning from Assassin JDB, and he is just not able to play the game right now. Both Ryan's nanoed and a huge charge from Maestro over onto Pretz, but he's not able to be kept alive over there. Fluffy tried everything he could, but it looks like Evo, even though they had a shocking start to this, no, actually, never mind. Rage Quit looked like they're going to be the ones that are leading this fight right now, especially with Shadows getting back into this on the Brigitte, but the point hasn't flipped yet. They're playing so passive. Meanwhile, they had the advantage, and right now, Evo, now 4 players back onto the point here. It's going to be really tough, but JRV does get the dead eye, a cheeky one onto Jelly Doodle. Blizzard comes in from the side of Cheese Boy alongside Rally from both of the Brigittes. Shadow from Maestro finds 4 players, but where's the follow-up? They can't get this one yet, and Assassin JDB comes in with his own Blizzard here. And I mean, I don't want to call that Blizzard. That was an absolute avalanche.
I mean, that was a mess, is what I would call it, Cloudburst. So much going on. Neither team able to take advantage. But what you saw in the mid game there, when they were playing so passive on the side of Odyssey, is the main tank difference. Maestro alive, Pretz dead. They could just stand there on point with this behind Maestro's shield. He could wait for respawns. Meanwhile, Odyssey had to play so passive and hide and juke and jive. Otherwise, they were just going to get taken down. So you see the importance the main tank plays there, just in Overwatch in general.
Completely main tank players dictate a lot of the fight, and that's exactly what we're going to see as Maestro charges directly into Pretz. Trigger happy, going over the top of the self-destruct, finds 2. When we see Big Tuna wasn't able to find any at all, and Rage Quit Odyssey are looking absolutely fantastic over on downtown now.
Yeah, definitely. That was a weird interaction, sorry. The 2 main tanks charging each other, you'd think that favors Big Tuna with the way they were positioned, but Trigger Happy finding a much better ulti, and Trigger Happy and Big Ultis, I mean, name a more iconic duo, because this guy's been getting huge ultis every game we've watched of Odyssey so far.
So keep an eye over on his ultimate meter here to see when he can get it, although High Noon from JOV, that wall is actually, looks accidental, but very nice from Cheetah Boy, but he gets taken out anyways. Just oh my word! Jelly Doodle gets the triple kill, but Pretz throws the advantage out. Not a chance.
Assassin? Okay, this is just a feed.
Meaty,
Assassin decides he's just gonna waste his own team's time. Sackless play there, trying to get on before the point.
Nice
75 on the clock here, ultimates-wise, still favoring Odyssey, but they're coming up to a lot of big ultis on the side of Evo. Due of the Shadow for Pretz, but it's Maestro coming to Cheetah Boy with the Blizzard. I think that's the biggest one to look out for here. Space Panda gonna have that Nano to match Fluffy's Nano as well, but Assassin goes to Blizzard as well. Let's look at the Divas here, see if they manage to counteract any of the Blizzard.
Very nice wall, finds 3 players, but the Shadow. Oh wait, there's the Blizzard from Cheetah Boy. As you said, Sun, is so important for this one. Assassin JDB is going to have his, but you can't play it if you're shattered. And Evo look like they're going to be taking Busan.
And I don't even feel that
team
fight
the
was
Shadow.
won on the back
Oh wait,
of the
there's the
Blizzard.
Blizzard from Cheetah Boy. As you said, Sun, is so important for this one. Assassin JDB is going to have his, but you can't play it if you're shattered. And Evo look like they're going to be...
He was forced to commit the ulti, but his team was totally cut off. Not able to take advantage. And so far, Evo looking pretty strong, but this looks like it's set up to be quite an even match.
Yeah, I must say, Evo did look dominant on the scoreboard over here for Busan, but there were so many times where Rage Quit Odyssey was able to push them to their limits in fights. Even though the fights were extremely messy, I think that when you're playing at this level of the players and
Someone needs to show
no
how
doubts in their skills or anything like that, but just from the messy fights here, I think this is almost what they need to do with these hero bans. They need to play this very brawl-heavy playstyle so that they're able to actually get an advantage, find mistakes, and capitalize on those mistakes, similar to how we saw, for example, when Cheetah Boy was out of position during the Deadeye from the wall, from the shield that Maestro had. Mistakes like that is what they're looking for, and you can only really get those mistakes if you're applying the amount of pressure that these teams are applying on each other, which is what is making these fights look, well, messy, as you said. It's extreme.
Something to notice as well, something to note rather, is that that was, I believe, Evo's map choice. I believe they were higher seed, and they're quite proficient on Busan. In the one match we saw against no, never mind, that can't be true. Don't worry about it. Odyssey though, they've taken most of their maps off Ilios, so they're much more comfortable on that particular control map. So maybe a bit uncomfortable on Busan there for Odyssey, but Evo making quick work of them that time around. Heading into Kings Row next up though, I mean, I checked the stats yesterday on broadcast. We've only ever seen one other map at this stage, right? Once. Otherwise, it's been Kings Row every single time. So
what's the other map option other than Kings Row at the moment for RMG?
For RMG, before it had been Numbani and Eichenwald. This week it's Blizzard, or this map pool is Blizzard World and Hollywood. So Kings Row is the favorite choice so far of every team, basically up against every other map in this particular map type.
Yeah, I can definitely see why Kings Row is preferred here. Just if we look at the South African scene, it's like, when I say I definitely know why, it's more that it's just because players like it. Like,
yeah,
I don't really have another way to put it, but if you compare it to the likes of Blizzard World and Hollywood, I mean, those maps have a lot of open space where Kings Row seems to be a lot more corridored. I think that might be why. It allows for different forms of playstyles. You don't have to really play out in the open as much.
Yeah, it's kind of in a lot of ways quite a vanilla map as well, which lets you do whatever you want. You're quite comfortable playing it. You don't. It's you feel a lot more comfortable pushing into first point on this map, for example, than you do on like Dorado, or Dorado's a bad example since it's not even a hybrid map. But
it's also part of the vanilla pool. So I think it's so
uncomfortable pushing into Blizzard World compared to this, compared to Kings Row. You have better cover, like you said. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that teams would favor this map over some of the other ones at this point in the game.
But of course, maps being favored lead us to Kings Row, but let's talk about the teams a little bit more here as we get a small snippet into the compositions coming here for the defense from Evo Esports. Same composition, nothing's changed.
Yeah, more of the same here. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? The onus at this stage is on Odyssey to do something different. Evo knows what works, but like we've mentioned before, you know, control can be a bit of a crapshoot a lot of the time. You never know quite who the better team is coming out of that. So quite a number of times we've seen the team that wins control actually loses the series. So interested to see how Odyssey come back here. Looks like they want to run exactly the same thing. It's almost like these two teams are coached by the exact same player. I'm interested to see how Blur's influence with the specific players makes a difference here between these two teams.
So one of the things here is interesting positioning here from the May and the McCree over on the defense, but quite a nice wall. Actually knocks 3 of them away, but there's no pushing up onto them, as right now Rage Quit Odyssey does break through the wall. Pretz leading the charge for his team. Defense matrix on both sides being used up to stop the fire strikes. Big Tuna, strange use of boosters to push up a little bit, but of course with that buff to the cooldown reduction, does allow you to use it a lot more liberally. And right now, almost like Jelly Doodle's looking for an angle. Assassin JDB playing so aggressive. However, he was antied at that point of time. And, Fluffy in the backline from the fire strike. Now Maestro can stop playing a little bit more aggressive, but nice to see Rage Quit Odyssey back off. Sad that they lost another player, but they got out of here.
Yeah, that was a really funny fight to watch because the teams were mirrored so perfectly. We saw the Divas committing, Defense Matrix at exactly the same moment. We saw the shields dropping at very similar times. Maestro, though, ended up making the difference there. I'm sure the McCree must have put in damage as well. But he ended up making the difference by taking down Fluffy, and from there it was pretty much...
I like this wall. I really like this wall. Going in through Hotel, causing the rotation on Evo Esports side. Anti-nade in the backline of Wallace and Jelly Doodle. Oh my gosh. Maestro right now is nano boosted. He wants to find players and he finds two, but the Earthshot from Pretz, they want to get some more value out of this one. Assassin JDB wall was not the right time. It delayed the charge and coming right back at you. Maestro and Space Panda, definitely the deciders of that fight there for Evo Esports.
That was an awkward engagement from Evo. We saw them go around through Hotel. Nice call. I really like that. Move, do something different, and you saw them catch Jelly Doodle out of position there, right? He just barely got away, but his anti-heal didn't get healed up, and he ended up getting taken down. But they were a bit split up, and the tanks were cut off from the support, so they ended up getting taken down there. See if they can execute a bit better this fight.
Oh wow, the ice wall. Oh my gosh, the blizzard as well. JOV is frozen out of his Deadeye. Wallace gets the first pick in the front line, and Maestro's just going to be swinging his hammer in the front line as well. Trigger happy. Demect kind of lost over there. Surprised we didn't actually see a stall over on Trigger happy in the Baby Diva.
Yeah. That's something we haven't been seeing enough of, in my opinion. That Baby D was just free time on the clock.
As well,
Don't
JOV is frozen out of his Deadeye. Wallace gets the first pick in the front line, and Maestro's just going to be swinging his hammer in the front line as well.
Favoring
Trigger happy.
Evo still here. Even after winning all these team fights, they're doing such a better job holding the ultimates and using them effectively.
Ooh,
Speaking of which,
self-destruct from Trigger happy. Ice wall. Oh no, it was their own ice wall that turned that self-destruct off. Maestro's in the front line though. He wants to still find some value off of this. Even though there was a rally, it looks like they're actually going to be able to. The nano boost over on Maestro's Reinhardt was just too powerful for what Rage Quit Odyssey could do in that situation. Minutes on the clock here, son.
yeah, looking pretty tough here, but finally, alt economy favoring Odyssey here. Blur, please tell your damn teams to stagger the Diva. Oh my god. Anyways, seeing these two teams, seeing what they come in here with, Alti's hugely favoring Odyssey. Like I said, you got Shadow, you got Bomb, you got the Blizzard as well, and you've got the Nano Boost. It's only the High Noon going in the other direction, so this should be Odyssey to take the point if they're going to take it ever.
Okay, we could see a bit of a flank here, but no, JOV actually backs off. Earth Shadow does find two players onto the ground. Blizzard as well, self-destruct. They're just throwing everything in, hoping something sticks, but Jelly Doodle's the first one to get a kill. Wallace is the second one. Evo Esports, even though they were so far behind in ultimate usage over here, they are still winning the fight. With under 20 seconds left on the clock, I do not think there is much that Rage Quit Odyssey can do right now to stop this full hold on our first round of King's Row.
Yeah, that was a disaster. They committed so much. They
Here's the
so
big
poorly committed. Able touch here. Okay, yeah, Prince is back here. They should be able to get back in and take another team fight.
Deadeye from JOV, but the wall comes in from the side of Cheetah Boy, Blizzard as well, and now he has to duel Jelly Doodle. He's not quite able to because Wallace is there to back him up, and Cheetah Boy is just ending this out, and I have to just give it, before we end this this round and move to the next one, Space Panda has been landing so many exquisite anti-nades and nano boosts over onto Maestro. Fantastic.
Yeah,
And now he has to duel Jelly Doodle. He's not quite able to because Wallace is there to back him up. And Cheetah Boy is just ending this out. And I have to just give it, before we end this this round, move to the next one. Space Panda has been landing so many exquisite anti-nades and nano boosts.
Typical of the matches we've been seeing so far during RMG. One team looks clean, and sometimes the same team looks completely ill-disciplined in the next match. So I'd like to see a little bit more consistency coming out of these teams, but you know, maybe a bit of leadership lacking here out of Odyssey. We saw them commit a lot of weird ultimates, a lot of weird fights. They're not able to that in a fight where you have such a huge ult advantage, you should be able to get more done. They threw 3 ultis, got 0 kills, and in fact, Jelly Doodle managed to get a kill with a Deadeye. So, like, really, you should be getting more out of the ult combinations there.
Yeah, I'm absolutely agree with you there. They should be getting more value, but I don't want to take it away from Evo, especially in a situation that we were referring to where we saw 3 ults thrown in. The rotation from Evo to go to the back of Hotel was really well executed, and the walls from Cheetah Boy have been a lot better than what we saw over on Mecha Base and downtown Busan. So seeing what he's able to push out here, it's been very nice. He's been keeping his team alive quite nicely. But over on the defense here, same situation coming out of Rage Quit Odyssey. Let's see if they're able to make it work.
Yeah, let's see. If it doesn't work here, I'd like to see them start switching something up here. We saw them do the same thing with ATK. Brick Waller try this very comp, or very similar comp, over and over again, lose every match, and then on the last match, sub in new players and try something different, but it's too little too late. So let's see.
Ooh,
how
that
they
wall
play
does
here.
divide Pets for a little while, but the wall coming back from Assassin JDB was way more important. However, no picks from either side. Big Tuna out of the mech though, and right now it looks like, does Evo want to back off, or does Big Tuna just want to die? What's... This is a
He's
strange
trying
situation.
to pew his mech back here. He's doing a good job so far, that's to be said. I hope they kill him before he gets his mech up, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Ooh. Okay, so Evo back in the fight. Anti-nade, Jelly Doodle has to be careful here. Maestro's holding his own.
okay,
Big Tuna
Big Tuna.
demeched again. He's just he's just extending way too far for the situation his team was in there, and now it's actually going to cost them all this time. I mean, this is over a minute on the clock gone from 2 mistakes from Big Tuna.
And I mean, look at the out charge difference. Trigger Happy compared to Big Tuna. Pretz compared to Maestro. JRV compared to Jelly Doodle as well. That's the effect of getting the 2 600 HP Diva makers, you know? It makes a huge difference to the out charge, and Fluffy charging up his ulti as well here. Odyssey's looking pretty good here coming to this fight.
Yeah, okay. Shadow from Pretz is blocked by Maestro. We do see Emily using the nano boost right now on Maestro as well. A charge is landed. Right now, Assassin JDB is causing some trouble in the center of this fight. High noon from both the creep players coming out. Assassin JDB falls, but there's a bit of a crackback. Is it enough as Pretz tries to hold his own a bit alongside Shadows, keeping them alive? Maestro solo, but Pretz doesn't swing! He was right there, that's all he had to do, and Evo, they were going to be winning King's Row, putting them 2 points up in the series.
And that, you saw the effect of a slow defense
JDB
there, right?
falls.
The way
but there's
Odyssey
a bit of a
have to play
crackback.
around there, they have
Is it
so little
enough as
time.
Pretz tries to
If
hold
this
his own
was-
a
if
bit
they had
alongside
more players,
Shadows,
they might have let
keeping
the
them
first
alive? Maestro solo, but Pretz
They
doesn't
just going
swing!
for a much better
He was
engagement.
right
They didn't have
there,
ticks.
that's all he had to
They had
do.
no options. They had to go in when the ticks started moving away from them. When the points started getting capped, and led to such an awkward engagement for Pretz on the front line, and Eva managed to take advantage of that even after losing a couple of kills. So Eva looking really good going into map 3 here, and Odyssey with a few things they need to brush up here.
Definitely, and I mean, if we just look at the player of the game there for Space Panda, I'm pretty sure I did mention it, but those anti-nades and the nano boosts were just so on point this round on King's Row, and their rotation into the back of Hotel. I have to point out again, that was very well executed from them. And as much as you're saying Rage Code Odyssey need to go back to the drawing board and really bring something up for the third map here to start their reverse sweep, as they are going to be aiming for the win here. They need to scratch up a bit on exactly what their macro plan is going into these fights. I think that their focus isn't necessarily the problem. I think it's just something's wrong with their positioning and just their overall outlook on what they're trying to do to take points.
Yeah, like I don't think you can read too much into the defense there. You kind of often you see teams just lose the first fight on that point, no matter how good you are. It's the attack you really got to clean up, because you have 100 pushes there to try and get that first tick. They weren't able to get that, and then they're on the back foot for the rest of that round. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'd love to see this team try something new. But again, we saw this from when they're playing against ATK. They moved on to Hanamura, switched things up completely, and looked way worse than they did on King Row. They looked super unpracticed. So fingers crossed they've been working on something a bit different as opposed to brick walling this meta composition, because this is now the second time in a row we haven't been able to see it work out. So let's see what we get here for the next map.
So it's a bit tough, considering just looking at the teams because of the bans. I mean, all of the players playing in RMG right now, of course the ban started about just before midway throughout the summer league.
Yeah.
So teams really need to adjust to this. There's a lot of legacy skill and legacy practice that has been put into having all heroes available. Now having 4 of those heroes taken away each week and it rotating around different heroes, especially not knowing what the next week is necessarily going to be all the time, it's very tough for teams to adjust on the fly. And I know you were mentioning that Odyssey played against ATK and they were looking shaky, and then they swapped up a composition and looked shaky, like even shakier. I think if you put them up against such a giant as ATK, it's hard to gauge that. But now we're seeing it from Evo Esports, which they're actually ranked lower in the standings than Rage Code Odyssey right now, if I'm correct.
Yeah, but again, that's because they played one fewer game and they also have only otherwise played the 2 top teams. So in the game against Odyssey, in the game against ATK, Odyssey actually looked okay in Kings Row, right? They pushed all the way through to the end pretty much and held on for quite a while, almost taking Kings Row off of ATK. So, they looked pretty good, all things considered. Much better than they're looking today, which is strange considering the composition hasn't changed. The only difference, like you mentioned about hero pools, is that they won't have the Lucio in. They've got the Brigitte in instead. So who knows how big of a difference that's making to how comfortable they feel with these compositions. But it's strange to see them look so poorly in comparison to how we've seen before.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen them before, but I'll take your word for it that we should be seeing a bit more from them in that regard. I mean, I can definitely say that I've seen a few of these players play in previous teams, and I do actually, as I said, I do expect a bit more from these players. But let's see if Hanamura is going to be where they can turn things around a bit and start the potential of the reverse sweep, because what more do us South African Overwatch players want than to see a reverse sweep? And when one team is up 2-0, going to the third map, this is when it's the only chance when it can begin, because that's what it is, you fools. But it makes it exciting. So teams are just taking a break here. I think Pretz asked for a little 5-minute between the map there.
Yeah, I
so
like
it. Bring things together.
So that is strategic, right? That's a smart move. This is a lesson I learned. Let me take you on a story time. Sun story corner here, okay? Season last year, beginning of VSG, Evo Esports taking on Goliath Gaming, right? Ended up winning the whole championship. We go 2 games up, right? Everybody's shocked as hell. Nobody was watching that game, but we were shocked. And Goliath Gaming was shocked. What happens after the second game? After we take the second game, Lag says, okay, 5-minute break, please. We're like, cool. That's cool. Completely killed the momentum, brought them all back. They got their heads back in the game. Lagby said what he needed to say to his teammates, and it completely shifted the tide of that whole match. So they ended up reverse sweeping us there. That felt super good for them, I'm sure. And we could see the same thing happening. So I like this decision from Pretz, sorry.
From Pleb.
From Pretz.
You after this.
And Fluffy was on Goliath Gaming for about a quarter of a second at the beginning of the season. So maybe he picked up some ideas from Visions on how to manage the kind of flow of a series. And that's something that doesn't ever really get talked about.
Yeah, I think that's something that is definitely lacking when it comes to the Overwatch scene. I mean, we see it a lot in CS, where you actually get tactical pauses in Counter-Strike. Mm-hmm. And it's when your coach can actually come together with your teammates, or your players for that matter. Of course, the teams are a lot smaller in that game, but they come together, they say, okay, look, even though it's mid-map, we're in between rounds, we actually have a chance to chat. Let's sort our shit out. Let's find out what our problems are. Let's make sure that we can play at our optimal levels for the next round. Of course, in Overwatch, you can only do that between maps, but teams need to start utilizing this. I think that teams get tilted way too easily, or they just lose their way. Just don't lose your way. It's
just win.
Bring it back.
Just win.
Just win. Yeah, come on, guys. It's not that hard.
So compositionally here, we see Odyssey switch things up. False alarm, it's the same shit every day. Both teams running the same comps here, and if we keep seeing what we're seeing, we should see a quick 3-0 here from Evo if something doesn't change.
Yeah, I think Hanamura is an interesting one. First point's usually the easy point to cap, but then second point is extremely tough because of the lay of the land. But oh no, Assassin JDB walks forward, has to actually expend his ice block in this situation. Very nice defense matrix from Big Tuna there, negating a lot of damage, but they need to be aware of where Cheetah Boy is. He was absolutely turning the tide of the fight just by standing behind the wall there. Wallace goes down to a lot of damage coming in from the side of Trigger Happy, and right now Evo Esports actually having to back up over here. Pretz is damaged. Takes a few steps back, does get his life back up. It looks like he's actually lost his shield. Ice Wall from Cheetah Boy keeping all of them in, but he charges right back in with the nano boost. Oh my god, Pretz comes in with the Earth Shadow as well. He just wants to find some more. He's anti-nated, but they need to stop pushing forward. Why are you backing off? What is this? Go in, go!
He's anti-healed and no HP.
Oh my gosh, okay. Jelly Doodle wants to keep things alive. Pretz is looking extremely low. Shield does break in this situation. Wallace is staying in the fight but gets taken out from Shadows. Jelly Doodle's Deadeye actually finds Pretz, but now they need to find a kill on him or he is going to go absolutely ballistic over on Rage Quit Odyssey.
Ryan's coming back, Maestro.
Maestro's back as well. He has Earth Shatter 2. Blizzard comes in from Cheetah Boy. And Rage Quit Odyssey looked so good in that fight, but they have to back off now or just jump off. You gotta reset. Or are they going to use the positional advantage here? No, they're actually going to reset.
Oh, no,
okay.
that's bad.
That is a huge pick over here for Assassin JDB, taking out Jelly Doodle, removing a lot of the DPS. There's no mercy here. There's no res coming in. Earth Shatter comes in from Maestro, knocks quite a few players down, but Deadeye on JRV is ready to go if he can find the positioning right now. And he does use it, but can he find anyone? Breaks Wallace's shield, but now he needs to start finding the ticks. He can't quite do that. Assassin JDB is the one who is just absolutely popping off in the situation. A freeze on Wallace, mid rally over here, and Big Tuna, Baby Diva. Are we seeing the stall? Oh, not quite. But Rage Quit Odyssey. Looking
Yeah,
good.
I mean, looking good is one way to phrase it. Very messy is another way to phrase it. They should have had that previous fight done and dusted, but played a little bit too passive there in the middle of that team fight and gave an opportunity for the respawns to start coming in for Evo to bring that one back. But nice work from Odyssey. Do end up taking it there, despite Assassin getting his ultimate stunned out there. Really awkward.
Ooh, that is rough. Well, I actually missed that one. Just shows you how powerful Brigitte can be, as well as McCree, double stuns. Okay, that wall not quite opportune for Cheetah Boy, and ooh, Pretz doesn't manage to land. It doesn't stick the landing. The Earthshadow doesn't find anybody. JJ will find Assassin JDB, and Maestro comes with Earthshadow on 3 players, and they're just going to be cleaning out. Rage Quit Odyssey, go home. Evo Esports is here to stay on the 2nd point.
Weird shadow from Press. I don't know what his plan was there. Maestro was standing in front of him, shield up. That's one where you just go, I don't know.
Yeah, Maestro comes
Maybe
with Earthshadow on 3 players,
and
they're just going to be cleaning out. Rage
was
Quit
I
Odyssey, go home.
maybe the
Esports
ping
here
is
to
going to
stay
make
on
a
the
difference. The
2nd
shield
point.
looks up, but you know, with the ping
Weird
sometimes
shadow
it goes
from
down.
Press.
I
think-
don't know before you see it.
I think what he was hoping for was for JOV to land a stun over his shield, but just because that small
maybe.
archway was just really tough to be able to do it. I mean, Maestro actually played that quite well, not pushing completely through the archway. So
Yeah, that's a pretty intricate play for such little space.
yeah, like if it worked, it would have been amazing and like play of the week, but not quite able to hold that one out completely. Self-destruct comes in from Big Tuna. We see Blizzard as well denying space. Pretz is the first to fall. Assassin JDB falls shortly after to Cheetah Boy, and right now another reset for Rage Quit Odyssey.
Yeah, if you're Odyssey, you're totally fine with that. They committed 2 ultis there.
No, JOV. He could have escaped that, but he managed. He decided to take a shot and give away his position, and that's going to cost Odyssey a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Like I say, Odyssey, you're okay with that. They committed a couple of ultis in. You're sitting with 5 ultis in the bank. You're sorry, Pretz pretty far from his Earth Shatter versus the 2 on the side of Evo. So if you're going to win a team fight, this is the time to do it. But we have seen them lose team fights with a major ult advantage before.
Wallace able to use the rally, but it looks like Rage Quit Odyssey are actually just waiting most of it out, which I think is a good play, but they need to be aware that that armor stays for quite a lot of time. It's going to stay there. Pretz does push in, but he gets taken out in absolutely no time. Another lovely wall coming in from Cheetah Boy, and a Blizzard as well, a very awkward Blizzard from Assassin JDB, who also gets nanoed. Looks like they're just throwing all their ults into this, even though they have 2 minutes left.
Yeah, just chuck a couple of ults in the bin there, right? You don't need. We'll win without them. I don't know why. I don't know why they committed. Once Pretz goes down, that's when you say, okay, cool, that's fine. We'll reset. See if we can get them to commit any more ultis and take the next fight. But they commit the nano, they commit the blizzard, they commit so many ultis there, and have nothing to show for it now.
Oh, it's going to be a tough one. Starting off with Rally here through the front door. A fantastic anti-nade coming in from Space Panda.
Ooh, they get it too.
But ooh, yeah, already a tick. I mean, that's just passive play from Evo Esports right now. High Noon is dropped as well as the Earth Shadow. JOV actually finds the pick. Can he find another one to Space Panda? He was busy reloading. He's not quite able to do that. Although he does have his own High Noon. Big Tuna flying up directly into the McCree over there with the defense matrix. And it looks like Evo, once again, are going to be holding this one out quite comfortably.
Yeah, that was actually, that team fight was on both divas there. We saw the only reason anybody stayed alive on the side of Odyssey is because Trigger RP got all up in Jelly Dude's face during the high noon and managed to eat all the shots, preventing Pretz, who'd been shattered on the low ground, preventing him from going down. And we saw exactly the same thing happen in the other direction. The JRV on the high ground forces Space Panda off, like you mentioned, pops the dead eye, and immediately has a big old hippo in his face. So nice work from both Diva players there.
Okay, Trigger Happy Comes in with self-destruct. Awkward position. Might... No, it lands at the top there. That is so unfortunate. Pretz comes in with the shadow though. But Big Tuna's cracking back with his own self-destruct. Doesn't find anyone, but Pretz is alone and scared in the corner over here. Wallace does have the rally ready to go to keep the team alive, but he's actually just going to be pushing onto Fluffy, whilst Maestro is having fun with Pretz in the center. But this Blizzard from Assassin JDB is actually pretty great, although we do see Evo Esports coming up with 3 kills over here, and this is going to be absolutely it. A swap over to Doomfist from Jelly Doodle to close it out with a fist to trigger Happy's face.
Really well played from Evo there. Again, though, something we're seeing this map, this particular point, is controlling that high ground is of utmost importance to both of these teams. Both the McCrees want to get set up on the high ground and just pew pew onto point. It's like the best feeling in the world. You build a dead eye, you kill everybody in the game. But the Divas are doing such a good job of shutting them down. We saw Big Tuna there get right up in Jerovy's face once he got set up on that high ground. And because of where the supports are playing on the low ground supporting the tanks, the McCrees are getting no help on the high ground and getting just dominated by these Divas. So I like what I'm seeing out of both Diva players here, but I'd like to see the team, especially the attacking team there, Odyssey, put a little bit more emphasis on keeping that McCree in that position and up and healthy.
Yeah, it's honestly quite a rough one over here now. Okay, pause coming out. Cool. Gives us time to talk about stuff, about the teams. Critique. Let's go. But I have to just give it to what Evo's doing here. I think that the support lineup is really kind of gelling what we're seeing from the DPS and the tanks together. Bit underwhelmed from what Jelly Doodle is putting out to the table, but I can definitely say that the rest of the team is making up for it quite greatly. If we look back at Odyssey, I think that's actually the team that we can speak a bit more about. We're seeing very strange ultimate usage. I think that's probably one of the biggest critiques I can see for the team right now. Deadeye is being used far too liberally and not in the best position for the rest of the team to help them. And we need to see Pretz play a bit more aggressive. I think that I'm not sure who the shot caller or the target caller on the team is, but often we see Pretz gets an advantage, doesn't push forward, doesn't swing, rather shields the team. And I think that's a bit of a mental case of just being a little bit scared of what the enemy team is able to push out, knowing that the DPS players are actually quite proficient.
I think a lot of that is down to actually Space Panda on the Ana with the anti-heal. I think a lot of the time he's playing passive is when he's anti-healed and low HP. And so he's waiting for it to expire and waiting for Fluffy to bring him back up to full HP. And then during that time, he can't get aggressive. So
that's true. Yeah.
And then it's also you slow to kind of get that acceleration going once you are back up to full HP because you don't have a Lucio. So it's an interesting dynamic, and I agree with you. It seems like Pretz is opening the fights quite aggressively, but he's not. Once the mid fight breaks down, he's not able to kind of express himself in the team fights, if I can put it that way. And like I said, I think a lot of that is down to DPS, like you suggested, also down to Space Panda on that Ana. So both Anas for me are standing out here as much as any of the DPS are.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you there. We've also seen some fantastic sleeps from both sides, but as much as Pretz is playing defensive, he's falling on the back foot and then having Space Panda land a lot of sleeps on him, opening up the rest of the team. But I think if we're going to be talking about the tanks or anyone else, we need to also just bring a little bit of attention over to the Divas here, because they've been having some pretty big plays.
Yeah, like I said, it's not explosive stuff like you'd expect out of a Diva. That's when we see Diva players like making a difference. When we see big bombs, we see huge ultimate eats. That's like when you think strong, exciting Diva players, that's what you think of. But what makes a great Diva is the details in between the big players. And I think both Divas have been doing a really good job of being where they need to be, shutting down what they need to shut down, and not feeding relentlessly unless you include Big Tuna at the beginning of King's Road there.
They're not pulling a Cloudburst on Diva, and that's a very good thing.
Yes, they're playing Diva more like SunPheonyx than like Cloudburst.
That's exactly it. I think if we boil this down to Diva play, that's how we're gonna have to describe it.
Extremes, right?
From best to worst.
Exactly.
Okay, so very aggressive position here from Rage Code Odyssey, especially if JOV doesn't join them. Oh, we do see Maestro disconnected here.
It's fine. You don't need him. Just play without him.
Yeah, let's We'll have to give it some time to catch the duck at the bottom of the screen here as he plods along whilst we wait for Maestro to join. Luckily, he's only going to lose 1% ultimate charge over here,
Yes,
and he's
on
attacking.
attack, yeah.
So, yeah,
Perfect
I mean,
time.
not really
If
a
you can't DC in between maps, then this is the second best time to DC.
Yeah. If there has to be a time.
Yeah, exactly. If you live in the third world, then this is when you pick to DC. Compositionally, we see something completely different from both teams. For the third time in a row, they're running exactly the same composition. I've never seen that before. I don't think any player on any team has played any other hero other than the one they played at the beginning of Mecha Base. So, yeah, there were a couple of times in Spawn where they picked different heroes, and that was like super exciting. But unfortunately, it seems like these teams have compositions they want to play. Again, perhaps influenced by having the same coach, with the same. Obviously, we'll go into each team with the same kind of philosophy. And Blur's philosophy seems to be get a comp and perfect it, right? Which is a fair philosophy completely. Sometimes you want to see them be a little bit flexible though when things aren't happening, and it seems like these teams aren't on the fly responding to what they're seeing the other team do. Or Odyssey thinks, since they're on the back foot, you kind of have to look at them to be the difference maker. Odyssey thinks, guys, nothing wrong with the comp, we just need to play better. And there's some value in that as well, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's quite a lost my words. I haven't done that in a while. But they're playing comfort comps that they know have very few weaknesses, I guess, would be the best way to put it. It's a composition where you can dictate the pace of the fight without really having a glaring weakness each time you're doing that, because it's like a jack of all trades comp. It has a bit of everything. I kind of wanted to see some Widowmaker from either side, but I mean, the only map that you would really want to see that on was King's Row, and we did see a brief selection of it, almost walking out the doors from Spawn actually, but just being swapped back to McCree on Jelly Doodle when Evo was on attack. But right now, I mean, the factor of having the same coach, and then also kind of a similar, at least, skill level from both sides.
Yes.
Where we are seeing Evo definitely looking very dominant here, but I think on a good night, we'll probably see a lot more of an even fight coming in from the side of Rage Quit Odyssey here.
Yeah, I think, like I said, against ATK they looked better. So we have seen better play out of this team. I don't know if it's just today they're not feeling up to it, or if Evo's particular playstyle works a bit better, because ATK was doing a lot of funky-ish, as they all want to do. As when you have infinite mechanical skill, you can do whatever you want. So that means with a very safe jack of all trades composition, like you mentioned, Cloud, you can get a lot more out of a team who's trying different things. But going up against this mirrored composition, Evo's got their number completely. They're using their ultimates better. They're winning the micro fights as well. Things like where and how she's using a stun, things like how JRV and Jelly Doodle and McCree are using their stuns, how the divas are moving around to counter what needs to be countered. Evo's winning those in sort of micro battles every single time, and it's making a huge difference. And the way you see it manifest itself often is in the form of how the main tanks move. So main tank is a funny role where a bad main tank can sometimes look better than an incredible main tank, because the team behind him is making him look worse than he is, or better than he is. And so it's fascinating to see how this all unfolds, and that's what I like about these kinds of comps, is how they interact with each other on a more intricate level. There's a lot more going on under the hood than we sometimes seeing when we watch the matches.
Yeah, completely. And I think that's something that we're going to be seeing if we can get Maestro back into the game. We're going to be seeing the battle continue between the two main tanks over here. However, by RMG rules, the team that has lost a player has 15 minutes to have a player return to the match. If not, they have to play the rest of the map without that player actually on their roster. So what I'm going to see if we can do is go to a quick intermission for the remaining 10 minutes here until we get a decision from the teams. But we'll probably be hearing from Maestro before then. Okay, everybody, welcome back to this one. Bit unfortunate over here for Evo Esports as Maestro has disconnected. He bought some airtime to be able to play, but looks like he's not actually going to be able to come back in time. Overwatch servers seem to be having some issue here, and he's actually stuck in a queue. So right now, Big Tuna, of course, swapping over to the main tank. We're going to be seeing a 5v6 here. Can Evo Esports clutch this one out? They just need to get some points on the board here for Hanamura.
Maestro just got back in game.
Oh, unfortunate.
Well, it's good they're on attack because they don't lose anything here other than a bit of time. So
Yeah, I mean, Is Maestro going to be able to join the game? It's after 15 minutes.
yeah, you can rejoin. Here it comes.
Okay,
Here
so
it
as long as the game's in progress, the 15 minutes is just for whilst he's not there. They have to continue the match, otherwise forfeited, so at least they continued it, believed in their main tank. Maestro's here to save the day.
Well, time will tell if that is true or not, but he is definitely here. I mean, Evo have been
Good
looking
start.
pretty dominant, so hopefully his ping is okay, and hopefully everything is copacetic, and he can bring Evo back up to full strength.
While looking at Big Tuna going up onto the high ground here, just a very extended poking phase right now. And a big advantage that we see from Rage Quit Odyssey right now is the ultimate charge. Maestro, very bad situation here from a fantastic
did he
wall.
live to
Wallace
that?
is the first one to fall. Maestro falls shortly after. Sleep on Pretz might just hold things back for a little while. But he has Earth Shadow ready to go for the next fight.
Sorry, they lost so many people, and Jeremy was standing on top of Fred's body and he died. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
he really didn't need to die there.
This could be where Evo turns it around. Their
Yeah.
spawn point is a lot closer to the first point.
It's
they
a
control
huge
section.
deal. It's such a big deal not having the McCree coming into this fight.
Very weird wall from the side of Cheetah Boy, but he does have Blizzard ready to go. Defense Matrix is on cooldown. Is he going to do it now? We're going to see some more pressure applied to Trigger Happy before the Blizzard comes out. They've actually just given JRB time to get back.
Yeah, they have.
This was Evo's moment.
Oh,
Earthshadow
big
comes in,
shadow.
knocks down 2 players. Maestro gets charged up against the wall. He falls shortly after, and we see more ultimate usage coming out over here. Don't know why we see the Blizzard from Cheetah Boy. JOV comes into the Deadeye, finding one more. Jelly Doodle gets a kill, but it's all over for Evo. I don't know why they're continuing this fight.
That was just unlucky for Cheetah Boy. He committed his LT in the same instant that 3 of his teammates died. So he thought there was something on there, but from our point of view, we could see his teammates are low HP and they pretty much died at the same time. So looked bad, but it's okay. It happens to the best of us. Ultimates, though, looking very good here for Evo Esports, and they do commit the Brigitte ulti here. Let's see.
Yeah,
what
Rally comes out. A big anti onto Maestro. You can see they're focusing him down. They know that he has a bit of ping here. And a self-destruct here to close out the fight. Finds Cheetah Boy and Space Panda. No shield. Locked inside the tiny room over here. 50 seconds left on the clock here, son.
Yeah, do they know the Diva's there? Because she's killing you. JRV in the backline again, going down late. But he's cut off from the rest of the team. He's going to get killed or staggered if they get on top of him, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. Ultimate, though, when JRV gets back, he will have that high noon. The respawn's coming in, but
Ooh,
that's a
Big
very
Tuna.
late death. Yeah,
Oh.
30 seconds on the clock. Left
That is
for them.
so unfortunate. Now Big Tuna has to get back into the fight before they're able to do anything. And there's a wall from Assassin JDB over onto Jelly Doodle's Deadeye. I can see. Oh, what? Oh, okay. Never mind. They're back in the fight now. Maestro uses the Earth Shadow. Wants to find shadows. The wall stops the shield bash as well. JOV is sitting there with Deadeye, waiting it out. It doesn't actually find anybody. And right now, Big Tuna is just applying some pressure here on the outside as moving over onto the point, though. Evo look like they're going to be able to keep this one alive. Out of the grasp of defeat here, they're going to be taking the first points in Hanamura in overtime.
Now let's see if Pretz can make a difference. He does have ulti close to it. He gets a charge onto Maestro. He's got so many friends there. Yeah,
Not
he's
a
just going to go
chance.
down.
Not a
So
chance.
that was really a bit of a brain fart from Pretz there. He's standing behind the May wall like it lasts forever. And then as soon as it goes down, the
Big
shot comes through
anti-onto-
from Jelly Doodle and deletes Pretz, and from there they clean up the fight very efficiently. Ultimates wise, we do see Pretz. He does have his ulti up, but they are fighting into so many ultis for Evo. The Nano Boost so close to the Rally, so close to the High Noon, and the Blizzard as well, ready to go here. So Evo sitting pretty as they look to take second.
Ooh, Maestro disconnected once again. This could be the only
Don't need him.
solace.
Don't need him. Just do it.
Can they? I mean, here we go.
Maybe they don't need him.
No power from that. Space Panda falls down. Jelly Doodle does even the fight, but he gets taken on from JOV. And right now it's a 3v4, 3v5 actually. And Evo, don't know if they're going to be able to keep this one alive. Maestro just has to hope that he can reconnect. As now 2 minutes on the clock, a reset with only 5 players. They do, however, have all the ultimates on the board for themselves.
I'd rather have the 6th player than 6
The
ultimates.
delay that Big Tuna has to put up here as well.
Yeah.
All that time just trying to find a way to get off the map. Dealing with a full
Yeah.
6 ultimate team. We have a 4 ultimate team with only 5 players. This is heartbreaking. Big Tuna
That
stops over
was
to
so
Ryan.
awkward, man. Tuna threw his ulti in there, thinking Maestro was still alive, and then Maestro had just been deleted from the game. So
Come
this
on,
is so
Blizzard.
awkward for Evo. I hope
like-
they did say they had a sub, I believe. So
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll be fine going into the next map. It's just that
Yeah.
right now this could be very unfortunate for Evo, but an extremely fortunate opportunity that they need to take advantage for over on the side. Although JOV, Deadeye, doesn't actually find a kill. Big Tune is one that finds a pick. Is nanoed at the moment, getting a lot of healing from Space Panda, who they're trying to throw some pressure onto. Shisha Boy finds Assassin JDB, Big Tuna goes down, and here we have a rally coming in from the side of Shadows. He's stunned out, but they need to start finding some kills. There's a lovely anti-nade. Wallace goes down, Cheetah Boy is going to go down shortly after, as we do see some pressure from JRV being applied over to Jelly Doodle, and Space Panda ending the fight once again. 50 seconds, there's still a chance.
yeah, sorry, there's still a chance. They used every ulti they had and didn't get any ticks, and they're a player down. But there is, technically speaking, still a chance.
There's always a chance, son.
There's always a chance.
And
But if they win this game, I will die. I'll die a slow death.
Okay, well, I mean, all of us are dying a slow death at the moment. Let's see what they're going to do with 6 players up in the higher ramparts of Hanamura's second point. Big Tuna wants to play aggressive, 62% towards the ultimate here, wanting to get some value, but in the backline, look at the rotation coming in from the side of Rage Quit Odyssey. Pretz in the backline, swinging his hammer, something that he hasn't been able to do yet, but as soon as you take Maestro out of the equation,
Yeah.
he is fearless.
Yeah, as soon as the player you're playing, the team you're playing is a player down, suddenly the main tank looks a lot better. But
Side of
a
Rage Quit
little bit of a
Odyssey,
gift here
Pretz
for
in the
Odyssey, I have
backline,
to say.
swinging
They
his
weren't
hammer,
looking
something that he hasn't been able to do
particularly
yet,
great.
but as soon as you take Maestro out of the equation,
until
he is
Maestro
fearless.
started having his
Yeah,
as soon as the player you're playing, hopefully this is a momentum
is
switch and Maestro can get back and we see a good close game from here on out. If not, hopefully Evo could work with whoever their sub is and hopefully it's
Look at that, like
comparable to
that
Maestro.
play from Wallace and like Maestro, like that, it was so good up there. And this is really unfortunate, but at the same time, like I want to see Evo. I think this is pretty much a case where I'm like, this was actually Evo's win, and I don't mean that to take away from the side of Rage Quit Odyssey, but I do feel that we just saw Evo playing in a lot more of a dominant fashion and just a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
But now they have this advantage where Maestro, your main tank, DC'd. He's not going to be able to. I mean, maybe he'll come back, but he's not going to be reliable, so to speak, or at least his connection isn't. So, do you take a gamble on Maestro being able to play, or do you bring your sub in to play with you, who I assume is not going to be as powerful as Maestro?
You'd have to assume if he's a sub, if he was better than Maestro, he'd be playing all the time. So, yeah, you'd have to assume this is a down game of some kind. Okay, they say Maestro's PC restarted, so he will be
So a
back.
bit of a like first internet goes down, then the PC crashes. He must be having an unfortunate time, but he must also be seething with lust for revenge right now.
Yeah.
He wants to get back and he wants to show that this should have been a 3-0. Fourth map, no problem, we're going to take you down. However, Rage Quit Odyssey, this is your moment to seize the advantage. Even though this is a technicality, this is where you need to press as hard as you can, you need to push forward. If you're able to turn the tides here against Maestro especially, your fifth map is going to be quite easy back off the momentum of taking over the fourth map.
Yeah, definitely. So up next we've got Dorado, Junkertown, or Watchpoint Gibraltar here. Maps typified all of them by potential for Widowmakers, actually, something I noticed. Dorado not particularly strong, but Junkertown and Watchpoint especially. The Purple Sniper is quite strong on those maps. So, you know, if I had to guess, if I had to bet money on this match, I'd say we'd see the same 6 heroes that we've been seeing throughout the whole series so far. But if there was ever a map we're going to do something different, or ever a mode with the way the map works out that you would do something different, it could be this one.
Yeah, escort is. I do feel that escort allows for quite a bit of a different composition, and I was actually about to talk about Jumpertown. Ugh.
Jump
I was
it
actually,
down.
yeah, I mean we're moving into winter. We're all going to be in Jumpertown soon. Get your color jerseys, guys. No, I was going to actually mention Junkertown as an example, but it's actually what the teams have chosen to play. I could see Jelly Doodle either go on the Widowmaker or the Ashtier, and I would actually say that we're seeing him on the McCree, but those are actually more of the heroes that he excels in. And something like an Ash, I feel, can really turn the tide of a fight with what the Dynamite can do, especially against the composition that Odyssey is playing, or what both teams have been playing, where you're playing very close together a lot of the time, even without your Lucio. This could be quite an interesting one.
Okay, definitely could. This is Evo's map choice, just to give you guys that information. It is loser picks here. So maybe they've got something set up. And the other thing we see on this map, Cloud, a lot is, of course, the sailboat, the pirate ship. That's what they call it. You know, set
And
up
I'm
the
calling
two
it
shields.
the from now on.
The
So.
My favorite comp, personally. No, I hate playing against it and I hate playing it, but we could see Jellydoodle pull out the Bastion here and Evo play that kind of strategy, and of course Odyssey have all the same tools available to them. So interesting to see how these two teams choose to play. Oh, a different hero. It's a move.
Yeah, so of course I actually left the Hanzo out in this situation here because I forgot he existed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, you Hanzo one tricks. But I think that this is perfect for Jellydoodle. His Hanzo is also quite proficient, and if they are going to be using anything with shields, like a pirate ship, for example, or even a Reinhardt that we've been seeing so often, the amount of pressure that Hanzo can apply with his storm arrows is going to be quite good for breaking shields to enter into the fight.
Definitely. It looks like more of the same here from Odyssey, though. JRV sticking on the Widow for now. We might see him try and take a shot and switch back onto the McCree. Or we might see him come out with this Widowmaker, and that would be a treat going up against Jellydoodle's Hanzo. But let's see how these teams execute here on the first team fight.
Okay, so JV is actually wanting to make something work here, but such a nice position play from the side of Evo Esports. And I think a lot of this is going to be on Jellydoodle to try find some early picks. Although a lovely ice wall, or actually takes out the sight line that Jellydoodle wants to play at. JOV not able to duel with him as the rest of the teams are just fighting on the point right now. Very strange fight here. Both teams actually backing off. No resources really taken up. JOV not finding the picks. Jellydoodle trying to duel him as well on the high ground. Two May walls coming out once again. Maestro's on the other side though. Wallace falls alongside him. And right now Odyssey using all the advantages they can get. And Assassin JDB absolutely abusing the May wall.
Now that was all on Fluffy though. The anti-heal was what really unlocked that team fight for Rage Quit Odyssey. The reason those team fights look so weird, I think, is because the two snipers were dueling each other. So you have no damage in the mix there. Because usually you're relying on the McCree to put a ton of damage in there. You've just got these heroes swinging around, the Brigitte hitting everybody up, so nobody's really dying until that anti-heal comes in and starts to clean up the fight.
Strange wall starting this fight from Cheetah Boy. Stranger one from Assassin JDB, but the positioning is a lot better. We do see Blizzard coming out. Cheetah Boy stuck inside the ice wall right now. Some of the players get out, but Space Panda and Cheetah Boy are not going to be lucky enough alongside that of Wallace. Clean up on Jellydoodle as they take the first points on Junkertown. Odyssey looking quite good right now.
Looking pretty good, and maybe the momentum switch you talked about, Cloud, coming into play, playing a little bit more confidently this time around. Fluffy with the anti-nade that time, and in this team fight, it was Assassin JDB on the May, getting so much more aggressive with his ulti, and that's quite typical of this match so far, is we've seen Assassin commit his ulti a lot more aggressively compared to the more passive style of Cheetah Boy.
Oh, Shadow from Maestro does knock down Pretz, JOV and Shadows. Dragon Strike as well to follow it up, a combo that I have not seen very often, but I very much welcome back into what we're seeing in these fights.
Yeah. You know, Hanzo have been very unpopular for very long. He's in this awkward spot where there are other heroes that do his job better than him. But there is still a use case for him here, and especially at this level, player comfort trumps a lot of other things, you know. Might not be the perfect hero for the job, but if Jellydoodle's feeling him on the day, then it can be a huge difference maker, as we see here.
Okay, Jellydoodle backing off in this situation here. Very nice wall coming in from the side of Assassin JDB. No picks just yet, but we do have a rally. Ooh, self-destruct coming up to the back, and Big Tuna finds Pretz and Fluffy. Odyssey are not going to be able to extend this fight any longer. Maestro was nanoed in the mix as well. And Odyssey tails between their legs as they back off of this one.
Yeah, something you didn't mention there, Cloud, that Peach pointed out to us here is Cheetah Boy had his ultimate consumed. These poor Mays are getting stunned out every time. That time I believe it was Shadows on the Brigitte, who we haven't mentioned, was subbed in for last map. In place of somebody who I can't remember now. Oh, the sleep onto Jelly Doodle though. Can they respond?
Can they capitalize?
Shadows is always
on
in
the sleep.
apparently. I'm just not
Doesn't
paying up.
seem like it. Maestro still quite far in the front line. They're not contesting the point though. Here's the Dragon Strike, does not get eaten. Self-destruct in the back line though, who does it find? Wallace goes down, Maestro slept and stunned shortly after from Shadows, who actually eats both the sleep and the nano. And it looks like they're just going to be cleaning up the rest of the fight here as Odyssey are going to be completing the second point over on Junkertown for the 4th map of the series.
Yeah, you know, Odyssey's ult economy and ult usage this map is looking so much better than we've been seeing on the previous maps. I don't know what kick up the butt they got, and maybe that match win in the previous map woke them up finally, but they're executing so nicely here, playing nice and aggressive and putting Evo on the back foot. As we see ult economy still in favor of them. Maestro does have that Earth Shatter coming up though, so that's something that Odyssey need to look out for.
They have to be careful. Quite a lot of damage in from the Fire Strike here. High Noon from GOV. Is he actually able to find anything? Maestro gets knocked down on Assassin, but can they find the kill? No, he's ice blocked. There's so many resources just lost. As we also see Big Tuna completely
again
here.
stunned.
And oh my gosh, no blizzards here for any of you.
Eaten, literally not.
Oh, trigger happy! It's Cheetah Boys one. First we see a stun on Assassin JDB, and there's just no blizzards in this fight. Odyssey capitalizing on the mistakes that they started off with, and really just didn't lose many players in the fight at all.
So, I mean, I don't even know what we're watching. There's no blizzards in the game. This is all Activision, no blizzard right now. The horrible monetization all over the place. Fully developed game we're seeing today.
Okay, Big Tuna on the high ground does get contested from Trigger Happy. Actually has to back off here. Evo are looking so shaky. They don't know what to do behind this momentum. Jelly Doodle does have Deadeye. If he can find a good position, he can make a lot work. Big Tuna going to have the self-destruct quite soon as well. And Space Panda, as always, ready to go with the nano boost. However, Pretz's Earth Shatter, if he's able to find it, this is going to be their map win. A fantastic wall coming in. However, it's not enough. Maestro gets nanoed as well. Pretz still has that Earth Shatter, but Maestro has his one as well. The amount of damage he's outputting right now, sending them packing.
It was a really weird play from Assassin on the May there. He kind of went forward, tried to get around Maestro. She just ended up putting himself in a position to get picked off, which is exactly what happened. Looking at the ults here, firmly in favor of Odyssey, although Cheetah Boy does have a slight advantage on that Blizzard, but who cares? He's not even going to be able to use it anyway. So we're looking at alt combos here for the tanks and maybe even throwing a Deadeye. Fluffy could be a difference maker with the nano boost.
Ashton points out, in these compositions, there are 4 ways for you to be stunned out of your Blizzard in the characters.
Oh yeah, it's a nightmare. Imagine playing main tank too.
Yeah, like even 5 if you count Earth Shadow in as well. But a very strange wall is going to be starting off the fight with Big Tune. Self-destruct finds Fluffy and Pret. Assassin JDB is going to go down shortly after, and it just seemed like everyone ignored that self-destruct completely. A very strange wall.
That was
gonna
it
start
kind
with
of
the fight
got
with Big
perched
Tune.
almost on top of the rotating platform here, but I'm going to just assume he had his protractor out there, calculated the angle perfectly. The trajectory, the vectors, the orbits of this rotating platform, and got it perfectly in between and found a double pick there. But credit to Odyssey, that means they commit nothing in terms of ultimates.
And
so
they do have
sitting
5
pretty
ultimates.
Yeah.
So here's their self-destruct. They have to watch out because there's a high noon on the other side.
Oh,
Oh my word! The combination of the ultimates take out 3 players. JOV finds another one in Jelly Doodle. And right now, Big Tuna. Oh, but when he's stalling the cart! And he got slept by Fluffy! Oh, that stall can actually allow enough time for the team to potentially come back from this one. Big Tuna gets taken out as well. They want to start moving the point forward. We are going to be seeing some of the players coming back into the fight here. And we might just see a final reset. Cheetah Boy does have the Blizzard ready. Jelly Doodle does have the Deadeye ready to go. Assassin JDB needs to make sure that his Blizzard does not get eaten as he tries to enter into this fight. If he uses it, okay. Cheetah Boy makes it. Assassin JDB does well, but it's a very strange position. Jelly Doodle's still alive. Maestro in the mix, but he is currently anti-nated, but he survives that one as Jelly Doodle's Deadeye picks up Trigger Happy over on the deep over there. Pretz Nano Boost has run out. Maestro has his, but he's taking a lot of damage. Needs to start jumping to get the knockback, but Shadows is just absolutely in his face on the Brigitte, and they're not actually contesting the point right now as they do try and attempt this with Wallace using the rally. An absolutely insane anti-nade from Space Panda, but the Shadow from Pretz is going to be the deciding factor of this fight, as we do see the first round of Junkertown going over to the reverse sweep agents themselves over on Odyssey.
I think, okay, no, I was going to do some long-winded ass analogy relating to Fortune 500 companies, but the bottom line is that Pretz bailed his team out there. Space Panda with a huge anti-nade should have secured that team fight for Evo right at the end there, but the big shadow from Pretz comes out, locks down the whole of Evo, and cleans up the team fight. But that was typical of that whole extended team fight, was the better support that Pretz seemed to be getting out of his team compared to what we saw out of Evo and Maestro. Maestro had Nano, Pretz had Nano, but Maestro was taking so much more damage than Pretz was. Pretz was on the front foot, putting Maestro under pressure, ends up dropping him down, and at that point, it's just cleanup. Even though they dropped a couple of kills early on thanks to an intelligent Deadeye from Jelly Doodle in the backline. So really smart play from both teams here, and I'm so glad we're finally seeing Odyssey hit their stride in this match.
Yeah, I really want to see, when we do go back on this, I just want to see who the first player was to fall down, because we did see a very aggressive Blizzard from Assassin JDB over onto the back right side for the attackers, or the back left side for the defenders, and they actually caught one player within that Blizzard, and it took a lot of focus off of the main fight for Odyssey, but they did find a pick, and I think that was actually onto one of the support lineups for Evo.
I know Trigger Happy got dropped quite quickly though. He got demeked and then deleted by the high noon, but I'm not sure who dropped on Odyssey either. More of the same here compositionally though, but Jelly Doodle choosing to run at Widowmaker just like we saw JRV do the first time round.
Ooh, if he can find a pick here though. Oh, not actually able to land the shots whatsoever. Does get some shots onto the Diva mech though. And it looks like that's actually be enough damage for the team to want to back off of this one. The shield's very low.
Yeah, that was very awkward. They're lucky not to lose more than Trigger Happy.
Oh,
Push back,
wow.
but he gets the kill on Wallace.
Oh, the anti-nade just ended Wallace's whole career, but they're not pushing onto this advantage once again. Maestro playing far too aggressive. Maywall does come up from the side of Assassin JDB.
Widow though in the back line, finds one. Finds two maybe? Oh, Assassin, did you see that?
I did not. Ooh.
He dodged the Widow shot with the ice block.
Ooh, okay, that's some good shit, Assassin JDB. I like seeing that. Let's see what Eva can do on their crackback to this one though. As Odyssey once again like backing off and then playing aggressive and really not choosing a stance on what they want to do in a fight. Maestro in the front line. Maywall just absolutely denies anything that they want to do here. Blizzard does find Pretz, and he gets absolutely melted in this situation. Assassin JDB up on the side. JOB finds Space Panda. And we also see Shadows, Raid Boss Brigitte coming in with the Nano. Is there a rally to close this one out? As Maestro is struggling so much. Cheetah Boy stuck over on the point with the ice block used up. Needs to use the wall to keep it alive, but the rest of the team wanting to back off over here. And that was so badly, like, it was just not coordinated at all from Evo.
Yeah, they're looking very shaky at the moment. That fight was kind of weird though. You said Raid Boss there, Brigitte, but it was more of a red herring. All she did was stay alive and buy space for JRV to put in the damage on that McCree. The other thing we're seeing is, like you say, they're ebbing and flowing, but it is a good ebb and flow. We're seeing Pretz pull back when he's taking a ton of damage, get brought back to HP, and then bounce back forward and get the kills on Maestro. He's playing so much better than Maestro is, or at least Odyssey is, in this particular map.
Okay, so we see Rally coming in from Shadows, Blizzard as well from Assassin JDB, not Eason this time. Maestro frozen up and just completely stuck in Odyssey's blender over here. And oh my word, Sun, minute and a half left on the clock, not even able to get the first point just yet.
Yeah, I think Jelly Doodle's regretting that Widowmaker pick. I think it's so hard to play into this composition. He wasn't able to find good enough angles early enough for it to make a difference during team fights. He had switched onto the McCree now, so we're seeing that mirror position, but on Junkertown, Odyssey looking way better at the mirror today.
Okay, here we go. Another rally on the side of Wallace. Wanting to move in. Trigger Happy does have self-destruct ready. Pretz ready to go with the Earth Shatter.
Oh my god.
We do see both self-destructs coming out. Which one gets more value? Big Tuna comes with the big one. Pretz follows up with the Earth Shatter. And oh, it doesn't look like there's enough picks for Odyssey, but right now Evo is not playing aggressive. It's a 6v4. Start pushing forward. JOV scaring Jelly Doodle away on the flank. Big Tuna playing aggressive onto Pretz. We do have 2 more players coming right back into this. Assassin JDB is anti-nated, but Ice Block removes that, gets the cleanse and some healing. Not going to last out too long. And Odyssey's remaining players actually wanting to back off of the situation.
Now, Big Tuna teammates at the end there could pose a bit of a problem, but that was actually nice, smart, patient play. So the reason they kind of stopped in the middle of that team fight and played super passive was because of the Deadeye coming out from JRV there. They couldn't get forward, even though they had such high numbers, because obviously they can just get a few kills if you're not careful. So Evo not losing their head here, and a good combination of ultimates there, Big Tuna especially, making the difference with that self-destruct. Ult-wise here, Cheetah Boy does have that Blizzard, hopefully actually gets it to touch the ground this time, and Fluffy and Panda both sitting on the nano boost. So both teams here sitting pretty equally.
Okay, Deadeye coming in from JRV, but there's also a Blizzard being applied directly on the Pretz. Deadeye finds 2, Pretz gets a charge kill as well, and oh, Evo, your push is just thwarted from the side of Odyssey.
Is this a stagger? Are we staggering a diva? Is it a miracle? It's a miracle. Oh my god.
Is this Christmas?
It's Christmas. No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, it's half Christmas. It's just
you basically never have to kill the diva, right? You can let her remake and then kill the mech. If
get
you
all
want.
that juicy ult charge.
Exactly. Anyways, we saw a very late nano coming up from Fluffy there. I don't quite like it, but he wanted to keep Pretz from going down inside the Blizzard. Let's see if Evo can make something happen on this team fight though. They do have the nano boost still, and the high noon Electric Cowboy might come out.
Electric Cowboy, not quite, because there's an ice wall in front of him over here. Does cause for Odyssey to have to back off and rethink the way that they want to get the defense going. Big Tuna on the high ground, scaring Fluffy and Shadows down. Blizzard is going to be connecting on the point that is from Odyssey's side right now, as they do cause Cheetah Boy to back off. Their own Maywall defends him, as Maestro is just cleaning up the back line. Space Panda keeping him alive. And oh, that is... Ooh.
Yeah,
Fluffy
that was all Space Panda.
Blizzard
As he
is
starts
gonna
to charge
be
out of the
connecting on
Blizzard,
point that
Space
is
Panda
from
tags him with the
Odyssey's
nano
side
boost.
right
That
now,
gives
as
him
they
the
do cause
HP
Cheetah Boy
to get the
back off.
insta-kill on Pretz,
Their own
turns
Maywall
with a
defends
nice
him, as
reflex of
Maestro is
Shatter,
cleaning up
and then
the
it's all
back
clean up from there.
line.
Just swinging the
Space
big old
Panda
hammer. It's a
keeping
big
him
old
alive.
broomstick as far as he's concerned. And that secures Evo the team fight. Coming to this one, Ultimate's favoring Odyssey though. We see the committal of a couple here.
Yeah, okay, high noon very early. We also have the rally. Maestro gets taken out extremely early, and a shatter as well from Pretz. So that is a total of 3 ultimates going into this fight. But they are going to get the win and put it to 2 minutes on the clock for Evo to complete this push.
I think the shadow was a little bit unnecessary there from Pretz, but it was only a 5v6, so choosing to commit that and make sure they secure the team fight. Looking in the other direction though now, because of the way that team fight unfolded, Evo's sitting with a lot of ultimates in the bank here. Trigger happy, he might be the key to holding here for Odyssey.
Yeah, so Wallace entering this one with the rally, self-destruct.
Oh my God,
Doesn't
the
actually
wall.
find anyone. Good shield play from Pretz here. But look at this Blizzard. It can actually catch so many of them. Pretz is nanoed, but Blizzard is as well. I mean, frozen. But no, they don't actually manage to get the kill on him. And now Odyssey can play aggressive out of this underbelly of Junkertown here. He finds a kill into Assassin JDB, but they have to trade it up for Wallace. Huge spawn advantage for the side of Odyssey, but they're actually going to back
Nice
off. A charge gets the D-Mech over onto Big Tuna. Maestro is slept. At the point is, it's actually not, no, okay, it is moving now, a little bit of a delay in that one. They're going to be regrouping very soon. It is a 5v5, 60 seconds remaining.
Big shatter.
From Maestro! Oh my word, a follow-up from Space Panda with the anti-nade. We do see Rally coming up from the side of Shadows, wanting to keep it going for a little bit longer. Maestro does fall, Big Tuna playing aggressive, but I don't think they can do this, especially after anti-nade like that from Fluffy.
Yeah, run away!
So he has to back off. Right now, Shadows is so low. JOV also taking a chunk of damage. But Evo still have to back off without their main tank. Cheetah Boy just narrowly escapes death thanks to Space Panda. But Jelly Doodle goes down.
Oh.
They're going to potentially have to take this fight
30
without
seconds.
Jelly Doodle here.
He'll have enough time to get back in. That shouldn't be an issue. Really nice play from Odyssey. They're weathering the storm after Pretz goes down, and we saw Shadows recognizing, if we kill Maestro here, this fight is even. It's main tank down, main tank down. Neither team wants to actually take a fight, and Fluffy gets a kill onto Jelly Doodle on the way out, just secures the team fight for Odyssey. This is the last fight. Let's see if they can win this one.
Very nice Blizzard. Maestro is nano, but he's also frozen on the very edge here. We do see a counter Blizzard coming in the side from Evo. Pretz is going to be taken out. Big Tuna finds another bomb in the back line, taking out JOV. He's going to be chasing down Fluffy as well. Gets the sleep, but it's just one lonely Ana against an entire team. Make it one lonely baby D, but that's actually stalling the point reasonably well. I don't think they can make it back, but if they do, this could be the biggest comeback of RMG so far.
They can touch, but they'll struggle to win the team fight.
Cheetah Boy needs to put a wall up. He needs to be ready. Pretz misses the charge. They do manage to touch. Huge anti on Space Panda and Big Tuna. The wall is delayed a little bit from Assassin JDB to make sure that the team cannot keep the rest of Evo alive here. Jelly Doodle has Deadeye. Shatter is used. 3 players go down. Deadeye finds one. Maestro finds another. And Evo are going to be keeping things alive a little bit longer in Junkertown. They are not down and out just yet.
Man, that was actually quite on edge. A lot of ultimates close to coming out. The Trigger Happy was really close to the Diva Bomb, but what ended up making the difference there was the Brigitte going down for Odyssey. Because Shadows goes down, the healing is so much lower. The damage goes through onto Pretz. Shield goes down, and it's all a matter of Maestro picking up the big shadow there. So we see both attacking rounds there ended by very emphatic shatters from the main tanks to clean things up. And I think that's typical of the series. If your main tank is playing well, your team looks really good. Or perhaps it's a case of if the team is playing well, the main tank looks really good.
Yeah, well, in the current mess that we're playing with here, when there's so many crowd control mechanics here, just CC just coming out of everybody's ears at this point, it's tough to really kind of excel as a main tank unless you do have your team behind you. But if you have the mechanics on the main tank as to what we're seeing, what we didn't really see from Pretz too much, but we are actually seeing from now, both main tanks are showing up quite strongly. Maestro just kind of got there first, and now he's waning off with his current connection issues. And Pretz definitely getting up there. We're going to have to see how far teams can push it. 1 minute either side, as we do have full completions.
Yeah, Evo on defense first. Same compositions as the same. They never give me anything to talk about compositionally.
Okay, once again, positions about the same. Huge damage onto Pretz here. That's some good ult charge for the side of Cheetah Boy. And Maywall's not quite what they wanted. A lovely anti-nade coming in from the side of Fluffy. Wallace looking low. Assassin JDB in the back. Gets taken out from Trigger Happy's rockets. Beachin needs to start playing aggressive to make something work alongside Maestro. And Odyssey, that was your fight. What are you doing?
Spawn advantage favors red team here though. So Odyssey gonna be sitting perfect. You see Pretz coming in from spawn.
Oh wow! Comes in from space. Cheetah Boy getting low. Space Pan has to keep the rest of the team alive. But right now, Pretz can just push on alongside the Earth Shatter. We're going to be entering overtime as Pretz charging.
Pretz, no! We need you!
This is absolutely massive from Cheetah Boy. Pretz not able to keep it alive. Maestro falling. Shadows keeping the rest of the team alive alongside his rally. And it looks like they're going to be able to continue this one in overtime. Evo, you had all the advantage right you now, wanted. Pretz can just push on alongside the map, but his team's still winning. Entering overtime.
Main tanks are
charging.
But
oh my god!
That's what happens if you try and fight so close. Is that if you don't get a nice clean fight, the spawns will just shut you down. But Evo are gonna try and defend here. Okay, Maestro does have Shadow now. There's only one ultimate over on the side of Odyssey, which is the Blizzard. Does manage to stick. Maestro falls down super early. Wallace is the next one to be frozen. Jelly Dude has to play scared. He just rolls in to try and touch this Big Tuna. This could be huge. Finds 2. Can they follow this one up? Space Panda getting a lot of damage being taken there. Cheetah Boy not able to keep this alive alongside Big Tuna. And the stall is just not really worth it either because you're in overtime, baby. And look at the ultimates, Cloud. So in favor of Odyssey here. You've got Trigger Happy's self-destruct. You've got the Deadeye as well. Nice quick charge out of JRV there. Fluffy closing in. Pretz closing in. If you're Odyssey here, you're feeling so good about how they're down. And that's the risk you take when you try and defend first. And there's no point in defending first. They don't get extra time. You can just push through there. Let them push through. Take the fight from this high ground. and you're in such a better position with more ulti. So it's something we see a lot of teams do, overcommit to defend first point. And I'd like to see them play a little bit more patient here, but now Odyssey moving forward here, big ult advantage. How do Evo respond?
Okay, Ice Wall already used from the side of Evo. High Noon coming out from JOV on Odyssey. Self-destruct from Trigger Happy in the back. Maestro frozen, taken out from Pretz's charge. Big Tuna, a little bit uncomfortable in the backline there, my dude. Wallace having to back off as well. Jelly Beetle falls. Fight is already over. This is looking great for Odyssey.
Very fascinating play there by JRV, choosing to hold the Deadeye. He had like 14 opportunities to kill 4 people, but choosing not to use it. Okay, apparently he lagged. I don't know how what's name Peach can tell that, but he lagged. So let's see. You know, they did commit quite a few ultis, and now Evo coming up with theirs. Blizzard's gonna be the big one. Eyes and Trigger Happy to see if he can shut that one, or maybe Shadows is the one you look at as he commits the rally as well.
Payload is on its
Okay,
way.
we have to see
Coming up.
what can be done here. Fluffy is ready to go with the Nano. Blizzard comes out from Cheetah Boy. We do have once again Maestro as the Nano. Pretz comes in with a massive charge. Nano does well. We see a crackback from Maestro as well. They're pushing him out on the high ground, but they lost Wallace in the trade. Not having a brigade isn't very good. Wall comes up. It actually works pretty well. A shadow on 2. Fluffy on the wrong side of the wall. Trigger Happy right now. Please stall the Diva.
No, don't stall the Diva. What are you talking about? Jeez. Almost got a heart attack there. Oh my god.
so
Stole the
glad you
Diva.
called out
Oh
now.
my God. What kind of advice is that? Anyways, okay, that was on Pretz. That was Pretz. It was Pretz good in the previous matches and the previous team fight. This one was Pretz bad. Okay, he charges off into the Narnia somewhere. No idea where he ended up on a different map. He's in Watchport Gibraltar currently,
But right
so
now,
far
Pretz
out of position.
can just push on alongside
But,
Earth Shatter.
We just get shut down, Maestro, with a nice counter charge. Get that kill on him, and at that point it's elementary. Sure, you lose Wallace in the meanwhile, but you'd much rather have a Reinhardt than a Brigitte. You see the difference Maestro able to make there in that last team fight. All clean up, and the door closes right in JRV's face, like something out of a movie. It's all over for Evo, or for Odyssey, sorry. But you're very happy with that if you're Evo. You're super happy, Odyssey, sorry. Super happy with that kind of push. They have a minute to push. Most of it's going to be in overtime. And you can choose where you want to fight if you're Odyssey. So that's what this is going to come down to. Choosing the right fights. If you can't hold them right here at the doors, that's what you need to do as Odyssey. I'm looking at Fluffy and Pretz to make that decision. When are we going to choose to fight?
Looks like once again we are going to be holding up quite close from Odyssey here. Right now, no changes to composition either.
Much the same here. As Evo comes forward, what do Evo need to do? Win every team fight, basically. Ult economy is going to be a real important thing here. Don't commit too much to winning
Pretz
team
is
fights.
itching on that shift key here. Ice Wall comes out. Pretz is actually caught out alongside Trigger Happy, and both of them are potentially going to fall. Talk about the shift key, but it actually becomes his demise. He should have played that a little bit safer. And right now, Evo, this is their dominance that we saw in the early 2 maps showing up once again.
Yeah, something we're not actually doing a good job of highlighting in Cloud is the May walls from the maze. We do it occasionally, but like in that occasion, they're cutting Pretz off, giving Maestro a nice free charge through onto the May wall, secures in that team fight. Getting into overtime here, Evo in a good position, Jelly Beetle dropping over.
Okay, Pretz stuck behind it. He's also anti-nated.
Nice.
They need to push onto this. Big Tuna is the one that closes that out. Maestro's anti-nated. Am I disconnecting? Looks like I am. Am I back?
You're fine.
Okay, we're back right now. JOV is nano boosted. Does find Cheetah Boy as well as Maestro takes out Assassin JDB. Right now it is a 5v1. Ooh, went from 3 to 1 very quickly there. Pretz wants to delay it a little bit longer, which I'm not too sure about in the situation.
Nano boost here. I don't know about that one, Evo. They look like they had that one quite secure, but they don't want to take any risks here. But like I said, ult economy is going to be the name of the game here if you're an Evo fan, because they don't have a choice. They fight when Odyssey wants to fight. Odyssey can let them push all the way through the end of the map if they want to, as long as they win one team fight. That's the strength of having such a good attacking round in overtime. So Evo going to commit the rally here, but look where Odyssey opposition, quite far back, so they will get full use out of this, but a lot of ultis for both teams.
I think Wallace is just worried about an early push here. Wanted to use it before things got a little bit too crazy.
Yeah.
Right now, what a lovely blizzard from Assassin JD. Fluffy followed up with a fantastic anti-nade. Space Panda gets frozen early. Cheetah Boy throws out his blizzard as well. Pret falls down. Big Tuna once again in his face with those boosters. And right now, it looks like we could see Evo push this a little bit further. Wallace is so low, but a fantastic stun just in time. Fluffy not able to find the kill, and just 2 players left. Cheetah Boy sleeping on the job, but it's still going to work out for him.
Man, that was such a good initiation of Odyssey there. Assassin freezes up the Diva. A Big Tuna there drops his May ulti, and they look to clean up from there. But Press gets stunned out. Wallace making a huge difference, stunning out the Earth Shatter there, preventing Press from bringing the damage, and he gets frozen in the blizzard, and it's pretty much just clean up at that point from Evo. They committed a lot of ultis as well. Pretty happy if you're Evo, but you're not feeling too bad if you're Odyssey as you commit a couple of ultis here.
Nice wall over here. Big Tuna with the self-destruct. Does a lot of damage to Trigger Happy, who is now demeched. Pretz has to back off of the situation as well. There was an Earth Shatter, but it didn't connect to anybody. Pretz is still alive with the nano boost. Assassin JDB finds a kill. JRV's in the back line, taking focus from Jelly Doodle and Wallace. They're so stood up in their focus, but a fantastic flashbang from Jelly Doodle. Flashbang 4 players over on the point here. Wall comes up, but it's about to be broken by the point as Wallace finds another kill within the absolute brawl. And Evo look like they're going to be taking this 3-1. Wall comes up, but it's about to be
Man,
broken by the point as Wallace finds another kill What an
Oh,
absolute absolute
Oh,
trial
trial
and for Evo to get
look
through.
like
they're going to be
Yeah,
taking.
jeez.
Oh my
Odyssey finally waking up third map there. Evo gave them a bit of a gimme there on Hanamura, but Odyssey not letting it go to waste, but they're not able to take that one to the end. Pretz played so well towards the end of, or at least on Junkertown, but not able to clean it up for his team. And we saw a couple of weird-ish happening on that map. That JRV, what are you doing all the way out there, bud? You need to be with your team helping them, and we saw what Jelly Doodle was able to do with his McCree when he was playing with his team in that last team fight. So many ultis going in. But again, Evo just able to eke out a little bit more out of the micro engagements, a little bit more out of the ultis. And at the end of the day, I would say the better team definitely won. Close match, fun match nonetheless.
Gonna have to agree with you there, saying it is a fun match. I mean, we saw so many unexpected turns throughout the entire match. I mean, if we just start off with the dominance from Evo in the first 2 maps, Hanamura looking good for them, and then Maestro disconnects. 5v6, he comes in for a little bit, goes away again. They still manage to get the first point to Hanamura, not able to hold out the third one. And, I mean, well, the second one, I don't know how I skipped to 3. We don't count 2s here. But by all means, Evo managing to get through so many trials, but Odyssey managing a very long wind-up. But once they were actually rotating, once they were actually going, they looked very strong, and I look forward to them going back to the drawing board. This is definitely a match that they need to VOD review, go over, find exactly where improvements could lie, because they were so close to greatness, but just a little bit short is still a loss. Like, it's still, you're not able to quite push it out all the way.
100%. So, before we go, Clown, I'll introduce the next segment. We have to choose our player of the match. So I've got perhaps a controversial pickup here. There were quite a few standouts. Both main tanks performed pretty well at different stages of the match. But for me, I'm looking more towards the back line. And I'm thinking Space Panda really impressed all match long. Between the nano boosts, perfectly timed on Maestro much of the time, between the anti-heals that put so much pressure on Odyssey to get something down, and Pretz especially to try and heal himself up. Yeah, I think for me it was Space Panda. Man, the lady of the match.
I'm glad you said that, because I was waiting for you to go like, oh, controversial pick. I was like, yeah, you're gonna choose a May, aren't you? Blah, 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 or a Brigitte, like whatever, go for it. And then I was gonna refute, going like, but Space Panda though, and you kind of ruined that whole, the whole style I was about to go with.
Yeah,
So,
not so controversial as it turns out.
But by all means, just the amount of pressure that she was able to apply with the biotic grenades there, the anti-healing debuff that is being applied over onto all of the purple heroes on the opposing team, it just makes it that they cannot be healed, which means that there's no sustain. You're not able to stay in a fight. You're going to be stuck out of the fight. You're going to be taken down. You're going to be focused, and then a Maywall comes up and you can't escape. So, by all means, Space Panda, in between the fantastic heals throughout the entire game, the on-point nanos over onto Maestro over there on the Reinhardt, the sleeps, which came in more so than what we actually pointed out. I'd actually love to say that the sleeps were actually very important, and a lot of the time definitely closed out quite a few fights. But by all means, the most important part there, the Barter Grenade, both offensively and defensively, keeping the team alive when they're being pushed on, and absolutely allowing for the most powerful of pushes over onto Rage Quit Odyssey.
100% Peach. Are we gonna get this lady in here? Oh,
Okay,
looks like
I got this.
Peach failing us once again. But yeah, you know, that gives us a nice, good sense of how these teams stack up in the grand scheme of things. We spoke about how so far they've both only lost to the two top teams, which everybody's going to lose to except each other. And we had to get a sense of how they stack up with each other. Hello?
Hi.
You just join our channel? What is this?
Sorry, Cloud said join voice, please.
Admin abuse?
Cloud said join voice, guys.
I did say join voice. I think that she got it as join voice and say hello. I didn't quite lead up with, hey, you're the MVP of the match.
Oh,
it was
I'm
more
so
of a no, that's not me.
I'm so sorry.
But what a grand entrance, by all means.
Thank you.
So, I'll guess I'll take this one as well. Well, first off, congratulations. Nice
Thank you
job
so
on
much.
beating Odyssey, and congratulations for the MVP as well. Cloud and I were very impressed with the anti-heals especially, but a lot of good nanos, a lot of good sleeps as well, so stand-up performance.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit how you guys felt coming into this game. Obviously, you had a difficult week 1 and 2, or at least your first 2 matches up against ATK and 2CP respectively. How were you guys, having seen there's so much footage of Odyssey now, coming into this match, how were you expecting to do against a team of Odyssey's caliber?
Well, we weren't actually sure which way it was going to go, but we were really expecting this game to be like a 3-2 either to us or to them, because we knew that they are a very, very strong team. And obviously we get coached by the same person, so, you know, obviously we know what coaching we get, they're also going to be getting that, and we've seen the strong performances that they've had, and we basically prepared, like, we did some com practices to prepare and did some VOD review by ourselves just to kind of see, you know, okay, cool, what are their strats, how do they play, and we really tried to prepare for them because we knew it was going to be a tough match. So yeah, we knew that.
Well, it definitely showed. You guys looked very well prepared and very well disciplined. You mentioned the coaching. They're coached, of course, by Blur, who you would have, who you have a very specific relationship. What's it like playing into a team? Yeah, you can hear the background coaching the team. I don't know which team he's talking to. I'm so confused. So that, you know, that brings me on to a question, like, what's it like playing against a team who is coached by the same player as you? How does Blur split his time between the two teams? Do you feel like either team gets more attention, and do you think that kind of thing makes a difference either way coming into this match?
So yeah, I think it was actually very interesting because we knew that they would be playing the same kind of strats that we would, because that's the kind of coaching that Blur gives us. So we knew, okay, we need to basically play as if we're playing against ourselves, because we know, okay, they're probably going to they're probably going to use these ult combos, they're going to be really well disciplined in using ult combos, so those are things we need to be disciplined on as in terms of like fairness, I obviously know very well, I have a very personal relationship with Blur, so I know exactly kind of what his time management is between the two teams.
Okay.
Basically, we each get the same amount of practice. We actually had a discussion because obviously he helps us with game prep for every single team that we. But what happened with this game is neither Odyssey and we didn't either. We didn't get game prep for Odyssey, and Odyssey didn't get game prep for us because that would have been unfair. So that's kind of how we bridged that gap.
Okay, so kind of he just pulled himself out of the situation.
Yeah, basically.
And left you guys to your own devices for the most part.
Yeah.
So, Cloud, any questions from your side?
How good did it feel to anti the entire team more than once?
I'll be honest with you, I don't actually notice a lot of the time because I'm shot caller for the team, so I'm really I'm really focused on
Just
like
kind of yeet the bombs in there, and
What
whatever
needs-
happens, happens.
what needs to happen. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. I need to anti the Ryan, and if I get the entire team, then the rest of our team's like, oh, huge anti, and I'm like, oh, yay. But it feels really good. I would just like to say that I am very, very, very proud of my team, especially with Maestro getting DC'd. He's a very big part of our comp structure. He's a very big part of the team. He's been part of Evo for a very long time. So losing him during that match was a bit of a slap to us. But, you know, we pulled it together and we really, really pulled through really nicely. And I'm like really, really proud of us at the moment. And I just want to say that.
Awesome. So last question from my
Yeah.
side. CB, I don't know if you've got another question.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Last question, the question I always love to ask at the end of these. Any advice for your opposing team, you know, RQ Odyssey? Anything you notice that you think they need to work on? And it's a bit weird because they're getting coached by the same dude, and now they're getting advice from the other team that they coach. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But just, what did you see through your own eyes?
I think the one thing that we noticed, it seemed like when they got put under pressure, they threw ults away. So they stopped thinking about, okay, maybe we shouldn't use these ults here, and maybe we should keep them for the next points or the next fight or whatever the case is. It just seemed like when there was pressure, they stopped thinking about how to construct their fight. But otherwise, it really was a tough game. And we were also actually guilty of that, which is why it's so easy for me to point it out. But that is definitely something that I would, a piece of advice I would give to Odyssey.
Awesome, thanks so much. I think something we, Cloud and I noticed as well, pointed out a couple of times, yeeting ultimates into last fights, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But before you go, Em, where can we find you on the internet?
On the internet, I am Space Pandem on and I'm not really on Facebook, so I guess that doesn't count. But yeah.
Mostly just Twitter then.
Yeah, Space Pandem is my tag.
Awesome.
I got you. I'm gonna pop you in chat because I'm a moderator now.
Oh, this guy flexing his muscle.
Ooh.
The rest of us are all familiar with. You watched us yesterday, you know the drill. Cloudburst at JM Cloudburst on Twitter. He has a Twitch page, he never uses it, don't even bother. Peach at ThePeachZA, you're on his channel now. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Give him a sub, send him money, all that good stuff. If you love the production, if you hate the production, he's the guy to talk to. My name is
ladies,
SunPheonyx.
slide into his DMs.
No, he's a good Christian boy. He must he must first find his way through life before he gets there. He's not even of age yet.
Doesn't mean that you can't have him chatting to ladies. What do you want about?
No. He's a
Okay,
good
okay,
boy.
none
He
of it
won't
allowed.
do that.
Okay,
He won't
I'm
do
sorry.
that. He's my child, basically. And now you've thrown me off my thought process. my name is SunPheonyx, at SunPheonyx, PHEONYX on Twitter. Follow COWSA on Twitter at ZA Overwatch. Head over to the Discord if you haven't already. Why haven't you already? What are you doing with your life? All your local Overwatch needs you can find there. VODs, games, people to play with, teams to follow, all that good stuff is all over there. And yeah, anything else, Cloudburst, you want to add?
There are going to be many more matches coming up soon for the remainder of the Raving Mad Gamers Summer League. We're about just past halfway through the weeks that are coming up to the end of the standings for all of the teams. So be sure to check out on COWSA. We have a channel called Upcoming Costs. Make sure that you have your eyes peeled and open over there so that you don't miss any matches that are going to be coming up in future. And thanks for watching, everybody. It's great to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks again, Emily, Peach as well. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks so much, guys.